Hi, my name is Shrini and I'm the co-founder of Upstox, one of the largest stockbroking firms in India. I think the landscape today is actually really good. I've been doing business here for almost 15 years. I started Upstox 15 years ago when it was much more difficult to have access to capital, much more difficult to have access to talent, and there was a general skepticism associated with startups and the products they offer. Today, all three of those things have become much better than what they were before. We have a lot of venture capitalists that are here to give funding. We have great talent available here locally, whether it's engineers, product managers, marketing, sales. And we have a much more receptive consumer base. People associate startups with fresh ideas, with disruption, and they themselves have that innate nature to say, okay, let's try what product they have. Right? So I think the outlook is much, much better and better than what it was a decade ago. Funding landscape has evolved a lot. It started off with, initially in the 2010s, it was very cautious in terms of who they wanted to fund. We didn't have a lot of big names that came to India. There was just a handful of VCs that you can probably count with both of your hands. And then around the late 2010s is when funding really exploded. We saw a lot of foreign funds come to India. They're interested in the India growth story, and then they came in. Fast forward till about last 2-3 years, people have become a little bit more cautious, not just in India, but globally, concerned about the cash burning companies, concerned about unit economics, concerned about general profitability. But what I feel is that generally Indian companies have been much more resilient than what you see globally, right? We've not had those sort of massive blowups that you have seen abroad. Rather, you're seeing companies here become smarter, much more disciplined when it comes to their business practices. And I think that's going to then improve the funding landscape even more. Look, I think government has been doing a great job. In our case, at least in fintech, by making sure that we go towards a digital identity solution with Aadhaar, by promoting low-cost internet with what we have with 4G, by promoting low-cost technology in general to make sure that every Indian has a smartphone on their hands. They've already done enough job to sort of have that access to startups from consumers that they never had before. Right? Beyond this, I think general promotion of risk-taking activities like starting a business would be great. Financial literacy and education, I think, would be great. But I already think that they're doing a fab job compared to most places in terms of promoting startups. So I think some of the few things that most entrepreneurs that I talk to overlook is one is the focus on the customer. A lot of times people fall in love with an idea, but they don't do enough customer research to see that is it actually something that they can market. That's number one. And number two is embracing failure, right? People get so disenchanted when they realize that the first idea doesn't work that they start losing confidence in themselves, right? A lot of times being in a startup is a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? You cannot create a startup because you want to get an exit in 2 years and relax in life. You're doing a startup because you're actually passionate about the idea, the space, and you really want to solve and make a deep impact on it.